Hello viewers, hope you are all fine and doing well. We are into the discussion of this book called What I Talk About When I Talk About Running by Haruki Murakami. Today, we are going to start chapter 4 from this book. The name of this chapter is Most of what I know about writing fiction, I learned by running every day. As the topic suggests, in this chapter, we will see how running is helping him in writing. This is the first video on this chapter 4. I have shared the links of introduction and the first 3 chapters in the description below for your reference. So let's start. The chapter begins by Murakami bidding farewell to Kuwait and return to Japan. As he was not in Japan for a long time, so he has a lot of pending work to complete, and his daily work kept him busy. But even though he was busy, he kept running whenever possible. He says, although he was finding it difficult to meet his daily average of running 6 miles a day, but at least he was following one basic rule, and that never to take 2 days off in a row. In his words, he says, muscles are like work animals. If you carefully increase the load step by step, they learn to take it. If, however, the load halts for a few days, the muscles automatically assume they don't have to work that hard anymore, and they lower their limits. If pressure is not applied to muscles, they relax and cancel out the memory of all that work. And in order to rebuild the same, one has to start from the beginning. The lesson we learn here from this is the importance of habits. If you don't build good habits consciously, then bad habits will come automatically. Next, he says that while he is in Japan, a new short story collection of his called Strange Tales from Tokyo has come out, and he has to do several interviews about the book. And he is also working on other short stories, essays and translations. And soon after he returns to Cambridge, he has to give few lectures at the university. So he has to prepare for that as well. He says, even if there were 2 of me, I still couldn't do all that has to be done. Even with so much of work and busy schedule, no matter what, he keeps up with his running. In his words, running every day is a kind of lifeline for me. Lifeline. Murakami talks about lifeline over here. Lifeline is something without which we cannot imagine our life. It's something which is an indispensable part of our life. It can be anything, to each his own lifeline. For some, it can be listening to music. For some, it can be reading books. And for some, it can be spending time in nature. For Murakami, his lifeline is running. Our lifeline keeps us more productive. Further, he says that the ground he was using to run was the same ground where Toshiko Seku used to run and practice for his upcoming Olympics. And this ground was also used for training by S&B team, on whom Murakami had written an article. He talks about 2 runners of this team, whom he used to pass daily while running. These 2 runners were very hard-working and were of the caliber to win Olympics someday. Sadly, they both were killed in a car accident. This was a shocking news for Murakami, and he says, I felt it was a terrible waste. Further, he says that although he hardly spoke to them and didn't knew them personally, but seeing them daily, he had built a rapport with them. He says, that there are things that only runners understand and share. Murakami further says that he later came to know that the two runners who died were recently married, and writes, "Where did their thoughts, their hopes, and their dreams disappear to? When people die, do their thoughts just vanish?" This reminds me of the book The Myth of Sisyphus. It's philosophical essay by Albert Camus, published in French in 1942 as Le Mythe de Sisyphe, and it was translated in English as The Myth of Sisyphus. According to Albert Camus, life is essentially meaningless, although humans continue to look for meaning and purpose of existence, and to look for answers to unanswerable questions. Albert Camus, by using the metaphor of Sisyphus, tries to explain in this book that it is through the joyful acceptance of the struggle in life that individuals gain definition and identity. So we will stop here, and in this video we have below key messages. Number 1, if we don't build consciously good habits, then bad habits will come in our life automatically. Number 2, everyone has a lifeline. Lifeline makes our life more productive. So, we will continue this chapter 4 in the next video. Thank you.